What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Welcoming you to the studio for another Friday Roundtable. And before we get started, sports fans, just going to say this. I'm back. Again, I'm sorry I was absent last week, and I should have let you guys know that I was going to be absent this upcoming week. That's no one's fault but mine. So, first of all, I want to apologize about that and let you all know this week I'm back, and things should be uneventful. With that said, I'll let Tyler get things rolling with some baseball.
Absolutely. Why else would we have anything else but baseball? And we just had the Tigers completing a 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins, taking 2 out of 3 with their 11-0 drubbing of the Minnesota Twins on the strength of 13 hits to the Twins' 5 hits with no runs on the backs of 6 home runs. Let's go through all of them, starting with Spencer Torkelson.
Torque, left field side, way back there, and out of here.
Good stuff.
Behind the
Colt
scenes,
Keefe. Gleyber Torres.
3-0 swing, Gleyber Torres sends it packing.
More good stuff.
3-0 bonanza. It's 5. Most days around the clubhouse.
Here's Colt Keefe, first home run of the season.
Oh my goodness gracious. Number 1 for Colt Keefe is a no-doubter. He annihilated that baseball. Stuffing and no lobster pots. Riley Green,
no relation to the country singer.
That is gone.
The little pizza delivery area.
Yep, in the bullpen.
They start a series with St. Louis tomorrow.
I was say, that was a very casual
McKinstry.
There is another one.
Yeah, when you're going up against a position pitcher, that's bound to happen.
Wenzel
and Wenzel Perez. Now, if it goes into the glove, in between the bullpens, everyone gets a free pizza from Little Caesars. And that is all 6 home runs from yesterday's game. The Tigers will now be heading to Cleveland this weekend to face the Guardians before 3 against the Astros in Houston. Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal are both returning to the rotation this weekend. It will be a 6-man pitching rotation for the time being. Timetable return on Verlander to be determined at this moment.
I tell you what, Detroit was hungry that day. Those fans who were in the ballpark, they were hungry that day. They were hungry for Tigers offense, for Tigers home runs. They were fed well that day from the looks of things. But that's a very encouraging sign for the Tigers. I mean, they still got a long ways to go to kind of, right the ship and get back into that playoff bubble, but there is still time. And there's hope for this team. And having a game like that where the bats just are as loud as they can be and to the point where you got pitchers just casually slinging pitches at that point, it's a good sign. If you're a Tigers fan, you got to feel good about seeing the Tigers pretty much play up to their potential and hit home runs out of the park left and right. I've never seen that many home runs hit out of the park in that one time. And mind you, I went to a Cubs game back in 2024 with Tyler Lavalette. They hit a grand slam, but that's just like home run after home run after home run. Tyler and I didn't see that at Wrigley Field back in 2024.
That we did not.
Rare, very rare sight. But if you're a Tigers fan, there's reason to be encouraged. But after seeing that thrashing of the Twins in that game.
Yeah, I am definitely encouraged by how that all went down yesterday afternoon, and it was quite the beautiful day to do so at that.
Well, I will also say this. Tyler's morale right here, in terms of baseball, his morale's a lot higher than mine. Let's just be honest. Even though the Tigers still got to win a lot of games to get into the wild card spot, the morale with the Tigers right now, it can't be any lower than what the Cubs have got right now. Okay, the Cubs are just annoying me. All right, I love my Cubs, but right now they are annoying me right now. Sitting at 4th in the NL Central, 35-34. And how about, I'm going to tell you, sports fans, something that is going to blow your mind. It's just going to drive you absolutely bonkers. Since peaking on May the 8th and since being at a record of 27-12 to start the season, the Cubs are now, get this, 8-22 since May 8th. I know, it's embarrassing. Yeah. Exactly how I feel.
What is going on with the Northsiders? Seriously. In the AL Central, you got the Southsiders doing pretty well, and they didn't play yesterday because of the rain in the Chicago area, but what is up with Greg Counsell on that and the Northsiders?
Couple things. All right. I would say it's a number of different things. One, of course, pitching has been a problem. Pitching has really struggled in these last few weeks from the May 8th to going into June. On top of that, I mean, you could say batting is – they've had some quiet nights, and then they've had some loud nights, of course. But also, one other thing that a lot of fans are saying is blame Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell is to blame. And, he does deserve some of the blame. He's been – basically, the lineups that he has put out there for the Cubs – really is one of the reasons why they're in this or their season is literally going down the toilet bowl as we speak. It's literally like the lineups that Craig Counsell. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like this. Right now, fans are saying Craig Counsell is pretty much flushing this Cubs season down the toilet with these lineups. He's putting in the guys that are just cold on the season rather than starting off with guys that are like red hot to get the game started on the right note. It's a number of different things. And also low morale in the locker room. And when you're losing the way you're losing, the morale's it's not going to be good. And you know what? What hurts our morale even more, as Cubs fans, what hurts our morale even more is having to watch the White Sox outperform us and then pepper us on social media with comments about how much the Cubs stink.
I have to say this. You being a fan of a team in a market where you have another team to deal with in the same city is something you and New York in the major geographical centers, not counting LA and Anaheim because they're two distinct cities, that's something not many baseball markets can say they have anymore. I mean, heck, 1950s, prior to the Dodgers and Giants going out west, you had 3 teams. The Yankees, the New York Giants at the Polo Grounds, and Ebbets Field was home to the Brooklyn Dodgers. You were constantly guaranteed a Subway Series almost every year with the New York Yankees facing either of those 2 teams. And nowadays, you just got the White Sox in New York with the Yankees and Mets and the White Sox and Cubs in Chicago, and you being a fan of the Cubs, it's just a bit aggravating to see, to know that team in the South Side that you laughed at and mocked for so long recently is suddenly doing good in spite of the ownership being bad, in spite of Jerry Reinsdorf being the way he is.
Oh, yes.
In spite of the fact that Jace Brunetti went to Detroit because of that pettiness by Reinsdorf and refused and Co. to not let him have more time with national networks like Fox and NBC, and doing well here in Detroit. They really lucked out in Murakami.
Oh man, Tyler hit pretty much the nail on the hammer with the nail, however you want to say it. Yeah, it's it's dark times for the Cubs right now when the White Sox are outperforming you. And you know what? I'm not gonna talk crap about the White Sox. I do it all the time, but I won't. They're outperforming us, all right, and good for them. We'll see if they make the playoffs. And I just gotta say, I might have thought of something else that might be affecting the morale of the Cubs, and it's something that doesn't even relate to the Cubs. It's another shift in subjects here, but sports fans, the Bears may be going to Hammond after all. Chicago fans are absolutely losing their minds over this move. So I'm going to give you just a few bits of information. There's nothing official yet. They're not moving to Hammond. But George McCaskey, he, in a statement, said that the Bears are looking at sites right now in Hammond, plots of land, to construct their next stadium. So nothing official yet, and Chicago hasn't lost the Bears yet, okay? They haven't. They still got a chance to hold on to their beloved Chicago Bears. The problem is, with legislation failing in the Illinois Senate in Springfield, this may come very well down to the point where the Chicago Bears may need to go get Caleb, or where the city of Chicago and Illinois, they may need to recruit the services of Caleb Williams and may have to have him throw a Hail Mary to keep the Bears in the city of Chicago.
This is just odd. Like, what are you guys doing, Brandon Johnson, J.B. Pritzker, and others? I'm a Detroiter, and I'm just like, what is going on? Now, don't get me wrong. We both hate the Packers, but they're associated with Green Bay, and rightfully so. If the Bears go to Arlington Heights, seemingly unlikely, or if they go to Hammond, which has some teeth to it. I mean, it's just basically across the border, still in Chicagoland market. They're still going to be called the Chicago Bears because of the reach of the Chicagoland market. Don't get me wrong. But, and yes, the Giants play in East Rochester, New Jersey. The Cowboys play in Arlington. The Lions used to play in Pontiac. And kept the major city names to tie into those metro areas. And yes, both the Rams and Chargers play in Inglewood. But still, this is not a good look for Chicago. Not at all. And unless Brandon Johnson can find a good way to keep them in Chicago proper, this isn't good. And the Bears could very well be playing in one of several upcoming domed football arenas instead of out in the environment. Pretty soon, we could be having the NFC North 75% played in domes, and Lambeau in Green Bay being the last holdout, as it should be.
The end of Bears weather may be inevitable. Oh, man. Okay, here's another thing to make. So Tyler mentioned J.B. Pritzker and
Brandon Johnson.
Yeah, Brandon Johnson, thank you. I had a brain fart there. Basically, if the Bears actually end up leaving Chicago and moving to Hammond, Indiana, a couple things come out of it. Here's the thing. J.B. Pritzker was looking at making a run for the presidency in 2028. This will hurt. Like, I don't try to get into politics, but this will hurt. This will kill any chance he has of becoming president, because this will not look good on his resume. Yeah, like, you got all these accomplishments. Oh, wait, you let the Bears escape Chicago and go to Hammond. You let Indiana now have not one but two NFL teams, while the state you represent has 0 NFL teams in the city of Chicago, in a market that is built for sports. That's a career killer right there. Like, politically speaking, that is a career killer. One other thing I want to mention. So, Caleb Williams, he's going to be on the cover for Madden 27. And if you guys have seen a picture, I probably should have brought a picture with me, but if you've seen a picture of the cover for the new Madden NFL game, it's Caleb Williams, and in the background is the skyline of Chicago. Talk about an awkward time for the Madden curse. All you can do is laugh sometimes. That's all you can do.
And then have your shock face ready.
Yeah, they need to. You're gonna have to change the Bears move to Hammond, which is gaining traction as we speak. You're gonna have to change the background from the skyline of Chicago to the skyline of the oil refineries in Hammond, Indiana. I'm not making this up. All right, talk about. We've all heard about the Madden curse. It affects the athlete, but this time it's a background curse. So it's affecting the city of Chicago rather than Caleb Williams. I mean,
I hope the curse doesn't strike Williams.
Yeah, same.
But and I'd say, as a Lions fan, don't get me wrong, I still want to beat him, team-wise, that is, and Ben Johnson. But you don't take a beloved institution out of the Windy City, and just don't do it, Bears. Don't move into a bland, corporate, soulless dome that's going to allow perfect weather every single time. And yes, I know the Lions playing in a dome, but at least ours has the character of an old Hudson's Warehouse being integrated into one of the sides. Good job. But still, the Bears were meant to play outdoors. And I'll even go further. The Browns, they're going to be building a dome stadium. They're losing the outdoors. The Bills, it's not a dome. It's still playing the elements. It just means the seats are going to have shade like in European soccer stadiums. So I can respect the Bills for that one. But the Bears, if the World Cup, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, comes back to FIFA, to the U.S. and North America as a whole in 38, based on the conference rotational policy of the FIFA for the conferences, with UEFA, the African Common Bowl, and the CAF all hosting 2030 in such a quagmire of a situation, and the AFC of Saudi Arabia in 34. There's going to be no shortage of dome stadiums for them to do their games in. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. All right. Sports fans, I'm about to play devil's advocate here. Tyler, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. I actually kind of hope the Bears move to Hammond. Being a kid from Indiana, I actually would not hate this move at all. And I get why the Bears are doing it, because they're trying to, because they're going to fund the stadium on their own. So they're just looking to secure funding for places of entertainment, hotels.
Right, the mixed-use development trend everything's going with.
And I know, okay, say what you want about the city of Hammond, but the skyline of Chicago will still be visible from Hammond. So there's that. So actually, this is a move that, you know what? I'm good with this. I would be okay with the Bears coming to Hammond simply because I'm from the state of Indiana, and that would be not too far from where the town I came from in Osceola. Of course, we wouldn't have to go through Chicago traffic, and it's not going to be that far from Chicago, but that is just me. Okay, Chicago Bears fans, you could boo me, you could criticize, say whatever you want about me, or, just flip me off if you want to. Like, you're one of those jerks who wants the Bears to move to him. But that's literally how I feel about it. And hey, if you guys think differently, it's okay. All right? We just agree and disagree. Mm-hmm. That's all. Mm-hmm. And now, shifting gears, how about those Knicks? We'll get a quick rundown through the Knicks. And can we see that clip of what might be one of the greatest moments in New York Knicks history?
Jalen Brunson, allow him to operate at the top, 1-on-1.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining.
Dang. That's how the Knicks could be on the doorstep of greatness once again for the first time since the 70s. Unbelievable. Not a butter beater, but dang close, if at that.
Look at that. That is absolute clutch. Keen instinct. Like, get bodies to the basket. And how about that? And it's moments like that that put a team one win away from pretty much the doorstep of glory and the doorstep of the thrill of victory. That amazing play, one of the best plays in sports that I have seen this year. And if the Knicks go on to win the NBA championship for the first time since the 70s, people are going to be talking about that play for a long time. And people will say that's the moment when we found out the Knicks were going to win the championship.
A lot still to be had there. So the Knicks better not be cocky and think, oh, we got this in the bag. But then again, they wouldn't have been in a situation if they didn't take the first two games in San Antonio now, would they?
Hey, 2 big road wins. Great way to start the series and put you on the right foot and giving you a better shot to win the title.
Now, am I saying they should choke it and lose the game 5 to win at home? Nah. That would just be too, what's what I'm looking for, bad. It would just not be a good look at all.
Yeah, honestly, I'm rooting for the Knicks. Okay, I try to avoid bias, but I am rooting for the Knicks. I want to see them just end that championship drought. Because New York, man, hey, give them something happy to celebrate in sports. They've had a rough go these last few years, and if the Knicks win this NBA NBA championship, we're going to be talking a lot about just how different the world was the last time the Knicks won a title. Here's the thing. Last time the Knicks won an NBA championship, Star Wars wasn't even a thing yet.
Nope.
If you could believe that. Wow.
Man, that's just crazy. And look at all the technology we have today. Look at all, if you're watching this whether you're on a phone, a flat screen television, a flat screen computer. Heck, we didn't even have computers back then. Our TVs were boxy and CRT boxes of that. And you didn't have that many channels that you did do today. Or you didn't when you had the internet, for that matter.
And to think, music-wise, we had Walkmans and stuff, but we didn't have like Amazon Music on our phones for that. Crazy how things are different in this day and age. And that'll be talked a lot about. But man, what a series so far. Like I said, I hope the Knicks win, but this has been an excellent NBA Finals regardless of what happens. Both the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals have been you could not ask for better. And speaking of the Stanley Cup Finals, wow, what a series. If you like I said in my Wax on Wednesday, you love goals being scored, this is your kind of series. So many goals. Yesterday, of course, it was Carolina scoring all the goals as they took a 3-2 series lead, and they are now on the cusp of their second Stanley Cup. They brought their best they absolutely brought their A game for Game 5, and so did their goaltender, Brandon Bussi. That guy, I hadn't even heard of him until this series. Like, Frederick Anderson had been starting most of the series for the Canes and most of their playoff series, but Brandon Bussi has stepped up, and if the Canes go on to win the Stanley Cup, he's probably going to be the biggest reason why.
That it is. It's going to be crucial to see if they can finish the job, even if it has to be in Vegas. We'll just have to see how that goes in a few days.
Yep, as Tyler mentioned, Game 6, Las Vegas. Either this series is going to be so great that we are going to need a 7th game, or 6 is all they're going to need, and the Carolina Hurricanes will be celebrating one of their great moments in their franchise history. This Stanley Cup Finals, though, I'm just going to say I think this is a 7-game series. I think this is going to 7. Even despite the struggles that Vegas had last night, I think coming home will help them. I think that I had Vegas in 7, but I could still be wrong about that. I do, however, still think this is going to be a 7-game Stanley Cup Finals. But regardless, this Stanley Cup Finals, it has lived up to the billing. It has been all the fun. And regardless of who wins, whoever wins it will have deserved it, because both these teams have played some phenomenal hockey this postseason.
That they have.
All right. Shifting gears to our final subject. All right. Here we are, sports fans. This is it. FIFA World Cup. North America 2026, with, of course, the majority of the matches being in the United States, of course. So to start things off, Mexico got the ball rolling for this year's FIFA World Cup, winning over South Africa convincingly. How about this? This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this in a soccer match. I've seen teams go down 1 man before when they get one of those red cards, but South Africa was down to 9 men to end the match.
Oof.
Like, wow. They got I think 2 red cards.
2 straight reds or accumulated red cards or something. I don't know. Either way, that is not a good look for the South Africans at all for their next group game. 2 guys on the bench and suspended for that match.
Yeah.
Not good.
Going to be a lot tougher for South Africa to get out of the group stages. So, good start for Mexico. Earlier today, Canada was playing. They were trailing Bosnia and Herzegovina 1-0. Sorry if I mispronounced that name, but I didn't see the rest of that match, so we'll have to check the score. Oh, Tyler's got my back here. So Canada versus Bosnia. That's one of the 2 matches today.
It is a tie. They ended in a tie. Canada won. Bosnia Herzegovina won.
All right, so
both get a point.
Yep, each get a point. That's very critical for Canada because they were in a very precarious position. Like, I tell you, Bosnia's defense was stifling at times. And Canada, they also had some good looks and just couldn't put one in, at least until later on in the game, from what Tyler has told me. So there's that. Thank goodness. happy for the Canadians. You got a point. You dodged the worst of the worst, especially if you're trying to come out of group play. Of course, the big storyline going into tonight, the U.S. campaign begins tonight.
Yes, that is crucial that they start their game in L.A. against Paraguay. They will also be playing a game. They will be having 2 games in Los Angeles and then traveling along I-5 or flying along Pacific Coast to Seattle for a game in between. Now, here's the thing: if you watch NFL games at the 13 stadiums hosting matches in the U.S. and you're noticing something odd about the names, there's a good reason. International tournaments like FIFA, organizations like FIFA, the IOC, and UEFA implement what is called clean stadium policies to protect their official corporate sponsors. Meaning, all these current sponsor deals like SoFi Stadium, Lumen Field, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, so on and so forth, those get suspended in favor of city names for the duration of the World Cup. Additionally, several stadiums that had Pepsi, they serve Coke for the World Cup only. Those are temporary changes, will not affect the official policies of the stadiums, as it's very obvious that they have these clauses built in in anticipation of such temporary name changes. Come September, everything will be back to normal. That being said, the U.S. should definitely need help could definitely do good by starting on the right foot with a win tonight in L.A.
And to build off of what Tyler Lavalette is saying here, there's some things I want to see from this Team U.S. this men's soccer team, all right? I want to see full control of this game for the full 90, be in command, outcome never in doubt, no matter how many goals are scored, all right, whether it's 2-1 or 1-0. I just want to see this U.S. men's soccer team in command for the whole game. Outcome never in doubt. Everybody looks calm, focused on the task at hand, making smart decisions out there, passing the ball around and getting good quality shots. We need our leaders to step up. Guys like Christian Pulisic, we need him to step up, do their thing, all right? Work as a team, all right? Okay, a couple of egos on the team, yes, but we got to work as one. That's what I want to see from this U.S. team. I want to see a U.S. team that is not only firing on all cylinders, but a team in which the chemistry is there, everybody's working and clicking together. I want to see control this game as well as a common sense of focus for the full 90 in this game tonight. If we could do that, I'll be feeling good about not only our chances to get out of group play, but also maybe, just maybe, make that the deepest run in the history of U.S. men's soccer.
Yeah, the World Cup promotional ad Fox has done has us beating Brazil. Unlikely as that can seem, one can never know.
You never know. And Brazil, I mean, it's actually, Tyler, it's quite possible. Brazil really is. They still got a lot of the same players they've had since, I think, 2014, but they're an older team. So, and when you get older, you're not quite as sharp or as fast. So you never know. Brazil is still good. I don't want to dismiss Brazil by any means of the stretch, but I don't know if they're quite the same team as they were, say, back over 10 years ago.
Right.
So a couple other things I just want to run through real quick. So some of the favorites to win the World Cup, you got teams like Argentina, France, Spain looks really strong. And you can't overlook teams, I think, like Germany and even Harry Kane and the English, or the Three Lions, as we call them. Honestly, if anything, I do think the Three Lions could make a run in this World Cup. But we'll see. There is always so much that can happen in a World Cup. These teams got to get out of group play.
Yeah, but if you don't make it, if you don't make it into the round of 32, now that it's a 48-team World Cup, you're done. Whether you're playing in the U.S., whether you're playing games south of the border in Mexico or north of the border in Canada, if you don't make it out of your group stage, you're done. No questions asked. Pack it up. Your base camp, your time in your base camp is done. That's that. You don't make it out of the group stage. Or if you get knockout rounds up to the semifinals, when you get the opportunity to at least stay able to play a third-place game, that is.
Big message for the U.S. men's team. No excuses. Get out of the knockout rounds. Take care of business in your group. You got home field advantage. You're on U.S. soil. There's just no reason that this U.S. team cannot, at the very least, get out of group play and have a chance to do some damage in the knockout stages. One other thing I'd like to focus on is some of the locations. I'll run through real quick. Canada, there's going to be 2 stadiums in Canada hosting FIFA World Cup games. One in Vancouver, and then, of course, Toronto, who hosted Team Canada today. In Mexico, you got Mexico City, Monterrey, and Guadalajara. They're hosting games. And then it gets really complicated. So you got in the United States, you got New York or New Jersey. You got L.A./Inglewood.
Yep, L.A.
Dallas, Atlanta, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Seattle, Houston, Boston, Miami, Kansas City. Whew, so many U.S. stadiums hosting games.
Yep, and like I mentioned, all the generic city names are temporary. No representation in the Midwest. Detroit was ruled out early, and Chicago balked to have various FIFA terms, according to an interview with with Ron Emanuel with The Athletic I saw recently. I can actually somewhat respect him for that, for being like, whoa, I don't like some of these terms, even if it means we don't host matches. It's just, I don't feel comfortable with some of the terms. Basically what it sums up to. Stings, because we aren't getting any of the European love that I've been seeing on social media, but oh well. I can always watch a lot of the stuff if I want to, so there's that.
Yep. Same here. It doesn't bother me too much. The biggest surprise for me on this list is Kansas City, but I'm happy for Kansas City.
Yeah, Arrowhead's rocking, even if it's just called Kansas City Stadium, but still, it's going to be awesome there.
That place is going to be loud. I mean, they get loud during Chiefs games, they'll get loud during the World Cup matches. And to close off this subject, I think Tyler would like to say something very special about the fans who have come from all around the world to witness the
we've seen a lot of, if you on social media like Twitter or X, you see a fair amount of fans coming from Britain, England, the Scots in the Northeast. There's this one fan who goes by the name Freddie on X, and two of his friends have made the trip through Atlanta to Tennessee, through the southeastern U.S., starting in Atlanta, going through Tennessee to Alabama, Mississippi, and then into Louisiana as last check. I have seen photos of him stopping at places like Waffle House, Buc-ee's, dining, having Chili's. Even today, doing tours of both the Saints and the Pelicans facilities. Seriously. It's just a simple guy and 2 friends in a car doing a road trip in the southeastern U.S. on the way to the first German World Cup match in Houston. May not seem like much, but they're highlighting something. The simple American road trip is being highlighted ahead of the 250th anniversary of our country.
Good stuff. And, that's one of the best things, whether it's the Olympics or the World Cup, it's a boon for whoever's hosting those events, because it's a chance for the host nation or the host city to basically showcase its culture to the world. And this guy that Tyler's talking about doing a great job showing off the culture that is the United States. If you want to take a great road trip and just go various places, come to the United States. There's a lot of places you can go. This country is so big. I haven't even been to the entire country. I've only been to some parts. Okay, all right, so I've been to Hawaii, but there are places that I want to go. I want to go to Alaska, for crying out loud. Yeah, as cold as it gets there. Alaska's fun, though. But hats off to this guy, and hats off to all the people who have come, not only just to cheer on their team for the FIFA World Cup, but to explore the culture of countries such as the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Oh, and it gets even cooler. There was another German guy in Chicago who got to try Portillo's. Mm. And the brand even retweeted his posts at one of the restaurants. Seriously, that's free advertising for that chain.
And I will say this: if you're in Atlanta, check out Chick-fil-A.
Oh, have you? See if the others try that place out. And like I said, Waffle House gets some love. Bucky's getting a lot of love.
Bucky's is always worth it. Been to one in Kentucky at least twice. Yep. So much you can get there.
Also went down one near in Tennessee as well. There's also one in Southern Ohio that just opened up a couple months ago.
Yep.
I feel like Michigan might not be far behind.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the day my home state, Indiana, gets a Bucky's. But to all the fans who are coming, not only just to watch the FIFA World Cup, but to explore the American culture, welcome to the United States and enjoy your stay.
And hey, if any of you are going to be in town for the 250th celebrations, you're going to experience something pretty once in a lifetime. Something you might never get to see again. I mean, yeah, the World Cup is going to probably come in 2038, but there's only going to be one opportunity to have a 250th anniversary celebration for a country.
This is one of the few times in history where two special occasions, whether the World Cup and America's 250th birthday, collide and line up in a string of events. Enjoy it, everyone, because we're not going to get something like this in our lifetimes. That's for certain.
Unless you're old enough and somehow make it a tricentennial in 2076. But, yeah, anyway, but speaking of sports fans, before we can, I won't mention, we got a little time until we get towards that.
All right. In that case, we're going to move on to this week's golden moment in sports. Yeah, okay, we've all heard of a yellow card. It comes from, football, and it's very seen a lot in the FIFA World Cup. But sometimes some people, they just love to have fun in response to whenever they get the World Cup. Here's one guy, for example, by the name of Max Fosh, who had the best response ever to a yellow card. Can we see this clip, please?
This could be the first booking of the game.
Wait for it.
There it is. And
Oh! Uno reversed.
And it's yellow, too. And watch the ref's face.
The ref is trying not to laugh. Here it is again.
Okay.
So there's your yellow card. By the way, there is just one thing wrong with this Uno reverse. It's a green Uno reverse card.
Oh.
He needed the yellow one to
Come
win the game.
on.
If he was playing Uno.
It wasn't even red about that.
That is against the rules, man. Okay, Max, man. Look, what you did was fun. It was awesome. The only critique I have is if you were actually trying to play the game of Uno with this ref, that's cheating. You would have had to forfeit because that's a green Uno reverse card. You needed a yellow Uno reverse card. Nevertheless, though, that is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. One of the funniest responses to getting the yellow card. Now, sports fans to those who are playing in the FIFA World Cup, do not try this on the grand stage because the referees will either give you a red card or they'll just throw you out of the game.
Yeah, basically a red card in and of its own self. It works for charity matches like what we just went like here, but in the great tournament itself, nuh-uh. You're here you're on a business trip for essentially in North America. If these three countries aren't your home, that is. Yeah. Even still, you're not here to mess around on the grand stage. Charity tournaments, okay, but the grand stage, no,
not at all. By the way, I just want to give some background. Max Fosh and this referee, they kind of have a history, not a bad history, but they have had plenty of times where they've gotten together. And this referee has given Max quite a few yellow cards in the past. And in other events, Max has done other things with these yellow cards. Like one, for example, he actually took the yellow card from the referee's hand and using a magician's trick, the card went up in flames and it just disappeared like that. Magic trick. So I have a feeling that this is all for show and that Max and this referee have worked together just to make a show of this. Keep in mind, though, hey, sports is entertainment, all right? And you know what? Yeah. This is a wholesome entertainment moment, though.
Yeah, this is something you would like to see if you're watching Banana Ball with the fan of bananas or the Harlem Globetrotters. Now, like I said, don't expect this in the World Cup, so don't try it.
Don't get kicked out of it. But I'm pretty sure refs can also yellow card fans, too. But that's about all I know. But wholesome moment in soccer, and probably arguably the best response to a yellow card I have ever seen. Uno reverse.
Yep. Even if it was just the wrong color.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's still good, though. It's still the best response, greatest response to a yellow card ever.
That it is.
All right, sports fans, we hope you've enjoyed watching this episode as much as me and Tyler have, putting it all together. I want to give a special thanks to Josh, Jim, Whitney, everybody here at the studios, WTV 10. Without you guys, this would not be possible. And a special thanks to my man, Tyler Lavalette, for bringing the light into this thing that we do, talking sports. We greatly appreciate it, my man.
Thank you. Same with you as well. Wouldn't be doing this really much on a weekly basis without you. And yes, even though you had to take time off and I've had to take time off too, we still find a way to keep things going.
As much as we can. Absolutely. Whenever we can, of course, we will always commit to it. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and Other Things on YouTube for more of this stuff. And follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook for likewise the same stuff. And we hope you've enjoyed this really over-the-top funny episode of Friday Roundtable, full of twists and turns. And we hope you enjoyed the soccer this weekend and enjoy the beautiful weather, sports fans. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wishing you all a good weekend, sports fans. Take care.